Welcome everybody. Here we're over at our small little single lot garden. I just gotten done mowing and I want to show you a couple clips of the flowers and bees and what the grass looked like before. And I want to show you this, how crazy this bergamot and coneflower is doing. I was actually trying to mow down here and I ended up just like mowing here and then coming from the other side because there's so many bees around here with a combination of bergamot and coneflower. And then whatever that wild yellow, whatever that's some sort of yarrow or what, but it's definitely a busy place, and it's not quite late enough in the day for these bees to be sleeping. So the idea for this video is to show you what it takes to kind of maintain an area like this with a comfrey that grows really fast, the coneflower and all the different native flowers that will grow and then they kind of fall over just like this. All this was right here and it was completely blocking the path, so it's a good thing that we didn't break any stems when we bent it over. And it's still a little grasshopper, a little bee. I'm brave. I'm being extra brave around these bees. I really don't want to get stung, but they're more interested in the flowers than me. One of the difficulties in videoing is I have neighbors all around, but what we want to focus on is this comfrey plant was well into the walkway here where we mow. So I just used one of those, whichever blade you have. I have a little hooked blade, like a Fisker's hooked blade, and I use that just to kind of tidy things up. And as we come through here, this is one of our main walkways. And you see there's elderberry growing over, which is perfectly fine. Those will be ripe here next, I'd say 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So keep an eye on that. And basically what we're gonna do is we're just gonna hold a hat under this, snip it, and let all the berries fall into the hat. Otherwise, if you try to grab them one by one, you'll lose 98 of 99s. Of course here, this is our comfrey wall that we've used to stop the grasses from coming in. And it's also such a huge pollinator section here, but it does overgrow, so it's even, I didn't trim it back too much, but the original path is actually like this. But I like the wild look. I like kind of a rough edge, more of a natural edge. I just want to have access for humans, so they're not too worried about things brushing up against their legs, this and that. We'll start off with a lower camera angle here to respect the privacy of my neighbors, but this is after it's been mowed up. This is the patch here where I showed you where I had to lay those flowers over. And we have all sorts of different things, especially coming up here. Kind of a perfect example of how dense things can be. These lighter yellow leaves are all different lilies from bulbs. Then we have some violet, some native violet. This is a currant bush. And we had some wild senna. This is all wild senna. Midsummer, all this senna dries up and goes away, but it's such a great nitrogen fixer that we want to keep it around. But if you want to tidy it up, if you don't like the brown, you can always just grab handfuls of it, put it in your compost, what have you. And then we have, here's comfrey, we got our bergamot, or purple coneflower, and then bergamot. There's other characters in here like this wild lettuce. We let all this wild lettuce go. Each one of these little buds turn into like a really beautiful blue flower, so we keep those around. Yeah, see here, it's like it's more of a, it's a blue, kind of a aqua, whatever that is. You can see there's a, oh, there was a little fly in there getting some snackies. This here is an aronia berry. So that's such a hard, fast-growing plant that I'm not really worried about it being around wild senna and things like that. It'll eventually come up to about here and be covered with berries for all the wildlife. So coming up on the danger zone here, we have a cool little design here where the pathway swoops through. We have an elderberry that we stuck in the ground 3 weeks ago. We have a pear that's growing amazingly. We also have, I forget what kind of flower this is, but we tried to add kind of randomized flower packets. Either we start the seeds at home, get them sprouted, and then we come over and just pick a random spot to put them, just to kind of pretty up the walkway. This is a currant. We've eaten all the berries off of that, or maybe the rabbits ate all the food off of that. Now in this garden this year, we are very heavy on purple coneflower and bergamot. This is the second year that that's all been planted. So this spring, we'll just kind of grab a couple of different varieties, including maybe some more milkweed. Grab a couple more varieties of native plants from our county's soil and water district. They have a plant sale in the spring. So we look at another pear. And what we do is, oh, there's a pear right there. Oh, look at that. Oh, there's another one. Oh, it's so nice to see fruit hanging on trees. Anyways, so other than asparagus, we have a red blackberry that's growing out here, and you can see it's starting to spread. What I wanted to say about the native plants, if you go to that Quantum County Soil and Water District, you can just Google it. Every spring, like February 31st, you can pick up any sets of plants that they have for sale, and they have, 25 different native plants. There's other native trees like serviceberry, plums. They have arborvitaes. They have a whole bunch of stuff. So depending on your county, you can just look that up and you can buy them. And the flowers are $3 a piece, and the trees are $3 a piece. So it's a really good deal. And what I was saying about this place is, we'll keep an eye on some of these locations that are flower heavy on bergamot, purple coneflower, and we'll get some other varieties. We'll get yellow coneflower and whatever else. We'll get more cardinal flowers. We'll get, things like that, just to, I don't know, make it look a little bit more full with different colors. That way blooming cycles are constant throughout the year. Instead of just a flush in June, there'll be a flush in March, April, May, June, July, and August, September, hopefully. And I think I'll probably leave you with this little shot here. This used to be the backyard of that house that was right over here. It had fallen down, and then I ended up wood chipping over it. I've got all sorts of like arugula, there's hascaps in there in the front, there's strawberries, and then there's a lot of wild lettuce that we're allowing to grow up to basically feed the soil. And we just maintain these pathways. We've actually thought about putting a little mini house in here. I don't know if that's probably not allowed, so we probably won't do it and forget I ever mentioned it. But there's space here for whatever activities you want to do. It's not big enough to play football, catch with a football or nothing, but still kind of an area. You get a little table in here, an overhang, and kind of be hidden from the neighborhood, just for a nice little cozy place to sit. I'm glad I was able to show you all this. This is a little bit of maintenance. It gets me outside, gets me moving. I get to see how all of our gardens are going. I get to eat snacks along the way. Here, maybe next time I mow, I'll be eating a pear or two. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.